Welcome back to Home Gym Hacks and Reviews. Today I'm reviewing the Powertec Lat Machine, one of the only Powertec machines I've never owned. Stay tuned. I'm sitting in front of my new home gym water heater hider, thanks YouTube, to review the PLM23, also known as the 2023 Powertec Lat Machine. It's new, it's been updated, and it looks sharp. I am so happy to see Powertec releasing new products like their Sissy Squat and updating some of their time-tested machines like the compact leg sled and now this. Over the last 15 years, I've had 4 of the Powertec Lat Tower Options either on my Powertec Power Racks or Powertec Smith machines. Of course, there is the high-low pulley on the lever gym, and I'll share how this standalone compares to those. Funny enough, out of all of the equipment and different brands I've owned, this is my first standalone cable pull-down machine. I had my experience with the big commercial grade machines that only offer 1 to 2 exercises. While they are great for small studios and commercial gyms, I don't think they're practical for my 2-car garage. On the other hand, I can do so much with this lat machine. If an exercise gets stale, I can simply change the cable attachment, bring in my bench, or perform exercises from the floor. Amazingly, this shipped freight all the way across the country and arrived at my garage door in 6 days. The driver recognized me from all of my previous equipment deliveries and said, "You must work out a lot." And of course, I tipped my drivers. All of the boxes were accounted for and in great condition, but it looked like someone removed all of the shrink wrap just so they could look at it. I don't want to dedicate too much time to assembly during this portion of the video, but before I sign off, I'll show some of the trickier parts of the assembly for anyone who may need it, but don't try to assemble this with 2 adjustable wrenches. The lat machine was excellently packed with plastic and cardboard around each piece and styrofoam buffers between the pieces and box. Here's a quick example of this quality packing job. Each roller is covered in bubble wrap, and these 2 posts are covered in plastic with additional bubble wrap at each end. Once unboxed, there aren't too many total pieces, and everything was in perfect condition. The plate stack add-on was excellently packed. Each plate is wrapped individually, and the stickers are not some cheap paper, but rather a thick texture decal. Once assembled, this is an impressive looking machine that only takes up 4 feet by 5 feet. Powertec's instructions were one area that needed improvement, and luckily they've taken care of it. This manual is 20 pages, whereas my first Powertec leg press manual I think was like 3 pages. The instructions are very detailed with plenty of diagrams, but also make sure to read the steps. I think the assembly was pretty straightforward, but it's going to take 2 to 3 hours, especially if rolling solo, which I was. A couple of the bolts were somewhat difficult to get to, and I know it may sound odd, but I really enjoy assembling equipment. Even though I missed the Golden Bachelor, it was my idea of a night well spent. In the manner this machine is assembled, each piece interlocks with the next for greater stability, and each piece feels like Powertec's quality is more robust than ever. Powertec made the assembly easier because a great deal of the cables were pre-assembled and even the weight horns were pre-assembled. This pull down has a lot of cool features. I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. First, the placement of these bar storage hooks is out of the way and doesn't interfere with changing out cable attachments, unlike the lever gym storage hooks. The shroud gives this lat machine a very unique look. In the past, these shrouds just had a sticker on them. Now Powertec has upped their game with this cutout that reveals an awesome yellow backdrop. The shroud also has a higher cutout than previous models, which makes getting to the magnetized selectorized pin easier. The weight horns are angled stainless steel, not some powder coat or plastic end cap that's going to pop off. I use the weight horns when I need to go between 2 of the selectorized plates. What really makes this lat machine unique is the option to save money and go plate loaded, or for an additional $390, I can have a selectorized machine. Of course, there is the option to have a combination of the 2 for a max weight capacity of 500 pounds. The roller pads are now quite a bit longer at 10.5 inches apiece. In fact, they are 3.5 inches longer than the lever gym's rollers. The knee pad tube has an impressive 6 adjustments, whereas the lever gym only has 3. There are bolt-on end caps, and these new adjustment knobs really give the machine a lot of character. And let's not forget this gold adjustment knob that allows the seat to swivel out of the way for low cable exercises. The seat is contoured, oversized, grippy, and comfortable. The legs have an awesome arch design and rubber feet for traction. The foot posts for low rows are more stable than some of the other models I've seen with a foot plate that wobbles. This floor plate adds additional stability to the machine, as does this additional post under the frame. The machine comes with a lap bar and a revolving curl bar, both of which are decent, but I think most people have aftermarket cable attachments. Here is what the machine sounds like in action, very smooth and very quiet. This machine has a 1-to-1 pulley ratio. I know that because Powertec lists it. I can also measure the distance the plate stack travels in relation to the cable, but a more fun way to do this is to select my weight, which is 160 pounds. I am down 30 pounds, but my blood sugar is better, and hang. The plate stack should just come up a little bit. Which it does, so this is certainly 1-to-1. Here's something else I think is pretty cool. I put the attachment organizer on wheels. Now I can move it anywhere I want in the gym and move it to stored away. The machine is 84 inches tall, but another important measurement is the cable attachment site, which is 79.5 inches. The seat is 16 inches high, so I have a little over 5 feet between the seat and the cable attachment site. At 5'9", I can get a full extension with the gym pin D handle and revolving handles, and I can also get a full extension with the gym pin D handle and angles 90 grips. When attaching the swivels to the D handle, I can pretty much get a full extension, especially when I angle my torso slightly. So if you're using an attachment that hangs extremely low, like the Prime Fitness rotate handles, or if you're in the mid 6 foot range and using an attachment that hangs relatively low, I recommend doing a chest supported pull down, which I like just as much. With some of the lat pull down low cable combo machines, it looks like the low cable travels very close to the seat. In fact, it looks like you have to stand back and let the cable travel diagonally. On the Powertec, because the seat swivels out of the way, I can get nearly a vertical line of drive, and I can also get a diagonal line of drive if I want to do preacher curls or hip extensions on the Powertec Hyper Crunch bench. As I mentioned earlier, I've had 4 of the Powertec Lat Tower Options. Those also have a 500-pound weight capacity, but they're a couple of inches shorter than the standalone model. And it's nice to not have to pull my bench inside of my Power Rack or Smith machine and use it as a seat when I'm doing pull downs. This just feels more open and it gives me plenty of elbow room. This new updated model also has a nicer fit and finish than my previous models, and this selectorized stack offers a lot of convenience and of course additional stability to this machine. Powertec also has a lat tower attachment with a 300-pound weight capacity. I've heard the attachment is smooth, but I haven't had a chance to use it, and while that attachment does save money over the other options, the convenience factor just isn't there. Now let's compare this standalone machine to the lever gym. The lever gym is 82 inches tall, but the cable attachment site is 77 inches tall, 2.5 inches shorter than the standalone machine. At that height, when using certain cable attachments, I either needed to put my bench at a decline, sit on my stool, or perform pull downs from my incline bench. The lever gym has approximately a 2-to-1 pulley ratio with a 300-pound max weight capacity. Because the cable lifts the lever arm and the lever arm moves in an arc, the resistance isn't quite as consistent as weight traveling on guide rods. The lever gym's roller pads have 3 settings, which don't offer me the perfect fit, so I have to use stall mats as spacers under my shoes. It may seem like I'm knocking the lever gym, but I'm not. I still feel now more than ever, if I could only have one piece of equipment, it would be the Powertec lever gym. However, if I was given the option of getting the multi-press and this standalone lat pull-down machine, I think I would take these 2 over the lever gym. However, I would miss a few exercises, like Bulgarian split squats and other squat variations, banded incline presses and banded shoulder presses, and even this very effective seated calf raise, which eliminates the need for a seated calf machine. These are just a few of the additional exercises the lever gym provides. While the lever gym is far more versatile than the lat machine, this is a better cable machine, which is to be expected when comparing a standalone machine to an all-in-one machine. It's a little tricky to compare Powertec's lat pull-down to other residential grade models. There are quite a few plate-loaded budget-friendly options, but with those come budget-friendly features, and Powertec has a much nicer fit and finish and a greater weight capacity than the $400 to $800 budget options. The plate-loaded option for this machine comes in at $1049 regularly, but during this awesome Black Friday sale, it's coming in at $839. Then there are a couple of residential-grade selectorized lat pull-down machines that come in at $2,000. I can make Powertec's lat pull-down selectorized for $1439, or for $1234 during this Black Friday sale, more than $500 less than the competition, even though they're the same weight capacity. I will note Powertec's lat machine is 3 to 4 inches shorter than Titan's and Bell's selectorized lat machine and 12 gauge steel rather than 11. Then there's the high-end lat pull-down options like the Rogue LP2, which ships for $4,000. If I was going to spend that much money on a back machine, I would get a Nautilus pullover. I think Powertec finds that middle ground where it doesn't break the bank, but it offers high-end features and rock-solid quality. I couldn't be happier with this lat pull-down machine. I think it hangs with many of the commercial grade models I used in the past like Cybex and Technogym. It doesn't have aluminum pulleys, but if those shorten the life of the cables, then I'm not interested. I already think it's super smooth, but if I need to make it smoother, I'll just add dry silicone spray. If this machine is any indication of the direction that Powertec is heading in, I am very excited for what the future holds for Powertec. I have been a Powertec guy for over 15 years, and I am going to be a Powertec guy until I hang it up. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel. If any of my videos or reviews have helped you, please consider using my Powertec affiliate link. And if you need help assembling this, stay tuned. If you're still watching, I hope this portion of the video was helpful. If you have questions, and reach out to me, depending on the question, sometimes I can help just as fast as Powertec's customer service team. Right off the bat, before connecting the rear base tube, connect the seat support adjustment tube and the diamond plate. If you get the plate stack, the directions recommend stacking the plates before inserting the guide rods. The cylinder will need to be removed from the carriage, and the Allen bolt will need to be reinstalled through the spike that runs through the plates. But if you have low ceilings, the guide rods need to go in first, and the plates will go in one by one down the rods like I show in my Streamline Functional Trainer video. Before connecting the support tubes for the cover, put the decals on the plates. Otherwise, you won't be able to get the decal all the way across each plate. Here is what the cable assembly looks like. There are two different cables, one that connects into the carriage and one that connects into the cable fixing plate. I do think the cable diagram was helpful. For the shroud, I put the screws in, then added the spacers, and then connected the shroud. This section will be easier with a second person. Down here, a couple of these bolts are a little bit difficult to get to, but if you have the right wrenches, it shouldn't be an issue. And basically, these are all of the sticking points that I found when I assembled this. I really hope this portion of the video helps. Take care.